The subject of today's Dhamma talk is the basic principles for all Buddhists. Buddha is the person who knows the four Ariya Satya, meaning the four noble truths. To be called Buddha or Samma Sambuddha, one needs to have two qualifications. One, a Buddha knows the four noble truths by his own personal effort and wisdom. And two, he knows how to teach others to realize the four noble truths. The four noble truths are: one, Dukkha Satya, the noble truth of suffering; two, Samudaya Satya, the noble truth of the cause of suffering; three, Nirodha Satya, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering; and four, Magga Satya, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. A person who knows these four noble truths by one's own wisdom and knows how to teach others to realize the four noble truths is called Samma Sambuddha. Buddhists mean those persons who believe, embrace and practice Buddha's teaching or doctrine with heart and soul. We have in the world quite a number of people who claim to be Buddhists. They are traditional Buddhists who claim themselves Buddhists because they were born of Buddhist parents. They are not unshakable believers with firm convictions. They do not try to understand the real doctrine of Buddha, but follow the general religious ceremonies as practiced by their parents and relatives. Such persons do not have deep religious understanding and faith of a true Buddhist, and they can be converted to other religions if circumstances are favorable to them. The three main features of Buddha's teachings are: one, refraining from unwholesome actions or akusala deeds; two, trying to do wholesome deeds or kusala deeds or wholesome actions; then three, keeping the mind pure and free from defilements or kilesa. And Buddha himself has concisely formulated into three: to refrain from all evil, to do what is good, to purify the mind. This is the teachings of all Buddhas. Now, what are akusala deeds or unwholesome actions? Akusala deeds or unwholesome actions can be defined as deeds that are not anos, meaning unwholesome, and that produce bad results. For instance, taking one other's life. Killing itself is guilty. If the human beings are killed, the guilt is more severe. Not only killed, but the resultant effects are short life, poor conditions and low birth, etc., and future lives. Stealing is also akusala deeds or unwholesome action. It is guilty in the present life, and the resultant effect is poor and miserable lives in the future existences. Telling lies, slandering, foolish babble are also akusala speeches or unwholesome speeches. Bad mental thought, bad speech, and bad deeds are all akusala deeds or unwholesome actions. These are unwholesome and have resulted in bad karmic effects. So Buddha preached to refrain from such acts. Buddha's admonishment not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sensual misconduct, not to tell lies, and not to commit other mental, verbal and physical unwholesome actions such as slandering, rude speech and foolish babble is to prevent persons from experiencing bad resultant karmic effects. And the second feature of a true Buddhist is to engage in kusala deeds or wholesome actions to one's utmost. Kusala deeds or wholesome actions mean giving dana or generosity, observing sila or morality, and practicing bhavana or meditation. Kusala deeds or wholesome actions are innocent and they give good karmic effects or resultants. Giving dana is innocent. Not only innocent, the receiver of dana reciprocates with metta or loving kindness in the present life. It also accumulates karma that ripens in the next birth and results in prosperity. Observing sila is also very laudable or praiseworthy. By observing purity sila, a person is free from lobha or greed, dosa or anger, and attain longevity of life even in the present existence and in the coming existences in the samsara. Practicing samatha bhavana or concentration meditation is also meritorious deed and innocent. For instance, even loving kindness meditation, Buddha said one can benefit 11 benefits by this metta bhavana or loving kindness meditation. One can fall asleep peacefully. 2, on waking up, one will have a fresh, cheerful awakening. And 3, usually dreamless sleep, but if at all sleep, the dream will be pleasant dream. Then number 4, one is friendly with human society. Not only humans, also even non-humans like celestial devas. Number 5. And number 6, one will be protected by celestial cause. And number 7, one will be free from dangers of fire, poison, and weapons. If one practices regularly, one can easily get into apana samadhi or concentration, so mental stability. Then number 9, one's facial countenance will be radiant and calm. Then number 10, if at the time of death, one will be unwavering. And 11, if one does not achieve enlightenment in this life, one will be reborn in the Brahma realms. All these kusala deeds or wholesome actions mentioned are for the good resultant effects when a person is going through a round of rebirth, which we call samsara. All of us are travelers of samsara, the continuous process of ever again and again, being born, growing old, suffering and death. This continuous process can be stopped only when a person achieves the status of arhat. Therefore, before achieving arhatship, we need provisions for the long journey of samsara. Even for our travels from country to country, place to place, we need money, air tickets, train tickets and provisions, etc. So also for the long, ever-repeating journey of samsara, we need all the commendable provisions. But for this samsaric journey, we cannot take money, air tickets, train tickets, provisions, etc. from this life. The only provision we can take is the meritorious deeds or wholesome actions by giving dana or generosity, observing sila or morality, and practicing bhavana or meditation, which will give good resultant effects. That will be the supporting comforts in the long journey of samsara. That is why Buddha preached to refrain from akusala deeds or unwholesome actions and to be engaged in kusala deeds or wholesome actions. Now, the third main feature of Buddha's teaching is keeping one's mind pure and free from kilesa or defilements. Generally, in worldly life, people adhere to physical cleanliness only. Morning, afternoon, evening, or all day, people wash their faces, bathe their bodies, change their clothing, which is for physical tidiness and cleanliness. Very few people engage in purifying the mind to be free from defilements. Impurity of mind can send a person to four apaya worlds, the four lower realms of the animal world, ghost world, demon world, and hell. We can see those animals that are living in our planet, like cattle, beasts, tigers, pigs, dogs, cats, etc. They are suffering because they fail to keep purity of mind and keep their mind free from kilesas in their previous existences. They had committed cruelties and other akusala deeds or unwholesome actions to resultant effects of this present suffering. People have to maintain physical cleanliness for their health, but more important is to strive for the purity of the mind. Now, how to strive for purity of mind? How to purify the mind? We have many times quoted from the Mahasatipatthana Sutta introduction verse. Buddha said, Ekayano ayam bhikkhve maggo sattanam visuddhiya. He said, O sons and daughters, the only way that leads to attainment of purity of mind is Satipatthana Vipassana Bhavana, or mindfulness insight meditation. They are 1. Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation of physical body. 2. Vedana Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation of sensations and feelings. 3. Citta Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation of the mind and mental objects. And 4. Dhamma Nupassana Satipatthana, contemplation of the Dhamma. Practicing the 4 divisions of Satipatthana Dhamma is the only way to purify the mind. When mind becomes impure due to lobha or greed, dosa or anger, the mind has to be purified by Satipatthana Vipassana Bhavana, or mindfulness insight meditation. The characteristic function of the mind is to think and observe the sense and mental impressions, impression by sensorial reaction. Meditators are aware of their activities of going and coming by their mind consciousness. Mind is also very strange and peculiar. The mind is to be kept in check by Satipatthana Vipassana Bhavana, or mindfulness insight meditation. Otherwise, it will wander towards the 5 sensual objects. Unless it is restrained by kusala dhamma or wholesome actions. 5 sensual pleasurable objects are good sights, good sound, good taste, good smell, good body impressions. Originally, water is clear and pure. If lime is added, the water will become milky. If green color is added, it will become green. If black powder is added, it will turn black. So also, mind is originally pure, but when influenced by lobha or greed, dosa or anger, it becomes tainted. The mind is also compared to wild elephant of the forest. The wild elephant is not only disadvantageous to human beings, but they bring harm to the people. So wild elephants are not allowed to stay as it is, but human beings tame them to become harmless and useful. They are lured into the big trenches by tamed female elephants and kept them without food and water. When they are weak and thirsty, they are put to the iron chains and gradually tame them by giving small amount of food and water at a time until they become tamed elephants for the use of human beings. As the wild elephants of the forest, the untamed mind takes delight and pleasant sensual pleasures of good sight, good sound, good taste, good smell, and good body impressions. If we keep the mind in this kilesa or defilement field, it will land in the four lower realms of woeful states. To tame the wild mind, sada or faith and chanda or desire should be used as a bait and brought the mind into the trenches of sila or morality and bhavana or meditation. By observing precepts not to kill, not to tell lies, etc. is like putting the wild mind into the trenches for taming process. The sensual pleasures have to be prevented, therefore, in an intensive meditation, we usually prescribe to the meditator to observe the 8 precepts. As you all know, the 7th one is like singing, music, dancing or shows is to be abstained. Then taking of food in the afternoon or evening is to be restricted. The mind also should be changed to the mindful training of meditation or bhavana, as wild elephants are chained in the trenches to be tamed. As tamed elephants become valuable assets to the human society, the tamed mind becomes the vehicle to carry the beings to good and better existences of human and deva realms. The mind, which is like wild elephant, should be purified. When hands and legs become dirty with dust or mud, it has to be washed by water. When mind is impure, the purifying method is to contemplate all the physical and mental phenomena by diligent mindfulness. By such mindfulness meditation, meditators will gain the purity of the mind and view by gradual stages from the knowledge that distinguishes between mind and matter, nama-rupa paricheda jnana, or the knowledge that distinguishes between cause and effect, paccaya parikha jnana, until the meditators attain the status of sotapannahood or stream enterer. Thereby the purity of mind is achieved. Then the 3 main features of Buddha's teaching: to refrain from all evil, to do what is good, and to purify the mind are automatically fulfilled, and one will become a true Buddhist. One will become an unshakable believer, dissociated with 4 lower realms of woeful states forever. One will be comfortable in the cycle of the life until one achieves Nibbana, the end of all sufferings. Now may I conclude my Dhamma talk by wishing all our meditators to follow the teaching of the Buddha, to refrain from all evil, to do what is good and to purify the mind, and achieve your cherished desire to attain Nibbana through Megha Phala Jnana, path and fruition knowledge, and the easiest way and the quickest possible time. Hidame Punya Nibbanasa Pachayo Hodu Hidame Punya Nyatinang Hodu Sukita Hondu Nyatayo Imano Punya Baga Sabha Satana Tema Sadhu. May you all be happy. May you all